All right, man, I'm excited. You know why?
Why? Why are you excited?
We're part of the Den.
Ooh, we're here having some whiskey in the den. Hanging out in the den. It's like the man den.
Yeah.
What's the den?
Den is the Deluxe Edition Network, an awesome network of podcasts that you could check out at deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Check out all the podcasts there. Lots of good stuff, including, now, fresh and new, Bacon is My Podcast. What's your bacon?
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Spencer from Under Oath and my solo project, Slow Tide. I have a new single that just came out called Don't Trip. It's available anywhere you stream music. Please give it a listen. Share it with your friends. My buddy Aaron Gillespie's actually ripping the drums on this one. So, yeah, help me spread the word. And you can follow Slow Tide at SLOTIDE band on all socials. Thank you to Bacon is My Podcast for always sharing my stuff. Much love. Peace.
And we'll just get right into the episode.
Hell yeah. I remember the first time I was interviewed on this show and they hit me with those 7 questions. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? But I found it's like, he's right. It's like, it's such a, it takes you immediately off your guard. And it's like, you're so comfortable because you find yourself really considering like, yo, how many pillows really is to, and like, that's going to be sticking with you later. And it's like, I should have said 7.
Well, too, you know, like a lot of people you guys are probably interviewing, they're not as confident as others, and breaking the ice with some questions like that really helps, you know, them to, you know, open up.
It totally does. It totally does. I think we've done, like I said, we've done like 250 of these, and like there was literally one band that was just like didn't get it, and then they were assholes for the interview, and we're just like, all right, we can stop.
It's weird
like
when
you
that
should,
happens.
if you didn't like it then, like, you could have just told us.
Right. You could save us all an hour.
The way that I look at it, if you go into an interview, you've signed up for it, so you better participate. You know, it's when somebody, or, you know, there are times where I go in interviews and I'm like, you know, by the end of it, I'm like, man, can this guy just ask me something like important instead of like, what's my favorite color? Who gives a shit? You know, stuff like that. You know.
We'll do a lot of that.
Right, we do. We'll. I feel like we'll do both.
By the end of this, we'll know your favorite color.
Well, sure. I mean, ask the questions, but, you know, have a little intellect as well.
Yeah,
of course.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Hey, bud.
What's up?
Guess what time it is?
Fall.
Yes. You know what that means? That means that the trees are shedding their leaves.
Indeed. You know what does not shed leaves automatically?
Testicles, and cheeks.
Right. So it is time for some fresh ball fall action.
Yeah.
My friends.
Manscaped, the Lawnmower 4.0, featuring their patented skin-safe technology.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you're not using Manscaped yet, what are you waiting for? Come on.
And what do your balls look like? Ooh.
Right? It's got an LED light, so if you're worried about nicking something or not being able to see, you don't have to worry, man. The Lawnmower has it.
Shave in the dark.
Exactly. It's waterproof.
It is waterproof.
Go into the shower. If you don't want to make a mess outside the shower, go in the shower.
Shave in a dark shower.
Yeah, you can do that with Manscaped. If you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, it'll give you 20% off and free shipping.
Free shipping.
And it's not even just for the lawnmower.
No, it's for everything. You can get the crop mops, shampoo, they have body soap, they have lotions, all kinds of things. Check it out, manscaped.com. If you can't remember the promo code, just jump over to baconsmypodcast.com and check out our sponsors page.
Always remember to clean your testicles, your chesticles, and your cheeks with Manscaped.
Yeah, man. What's your bacon?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bacon is My Podcast, where today we are joined by not Jimmy.
I am Jimmy.
This is DJ.
I'm not Jimmy.
He's Jimmy for the day.
Jimmy for the day.
DJ from Revel 9 and the Hard Rock Lunchbox.
That's me.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Who said that?
Noon to 2 Eastern.
On Thursdays.
Thursdays.
Live.
WNRR.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remembered that.
Thank you. I did not remember that. I get that wrong all the time.
And I am Mike, of course, and today we're joined by a fucking legend This dude I've been listening to for, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shayley, Dayshell, Bourget, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Thank you guys for having me.
No, I'm super excited. I saw your PR agent sent past us the new record, like the announcement, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a new record. This is awesome.
Is gonna work out
well. I listened to it, and first of all, like I said, I've been listening to you for a long fucking time. I saw you. It was definitely pre-COVID. Like we're from New York. We're Long Island, New York. So Amityville Music Hall.
Oh wow.
Is where I actually saw you.
I think I remember the last show I had to play there. I had to go have an emergency root canal, and half my face was all numb when I did
shit, really?
Yeah. It sucked. It was painful. Like, and I had this like Russian lady. She was just mean and bulldoggy drilling in me, and every time I was trying to, because I couldn't really understand her, there was like an accent, it was really thick.
Right.
And she was getting mad at me.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, and I'm just sitting there just like, oh man, it was the worst. They had to shoot me up like 9 times with this numbing because they told me I had a hot tooth. It was so infected that the numbing wasn't helping it. Ideally, I was supposed to go to sleep, but I don't have luxury when I'm making nothing on the road.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I played a show 2 days after getting a tooth pulled.
That's always fun.
That sucked.
Yeah.
That sucked. It was like the stitches were still there, and whole nine. Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough show.
It's amazing what happens to people like us, like medically. Like you think, like, performing musician doing whatever, like the team of doctors. Nope. last
What's
record,
insurance?
there's that too. The last record that we were recording, I was passing kidney stones while recording guitar tracks.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to think it added to the intensity. I don't think it did, but I'd like to think so. But it's like you're on the road. It's just like, yeah, man, there's an urgent care, maybe, or there's a Sheets, go get some rubbing alcohol, hope for the best.
Get some NyQuil.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
NyQuil, Robitussin will fix most things on the road because you don't, you can't really afford to do anything else.
Break your leg, pour some tussin
on it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Chris Rock was right, man. He knows what's going on.
What's really awesome is not only do you have this new record, Pegasus, out now, which is, like we said in the 7 questions, like, this is Dayshell to the next fucking level. Like, the ear candy that's in there, the production, how big it sounds, how crisp it sounds. Like, you and Joey Sturgis did wizardry in the studio because it sounds fucking great, dude. Like, really awesome.
It's so
Thank you.
What I'm really excited for, and as we're recording this now, the actual documentary drops tonight.
Right.
When this comes out, go watch the documentary if you haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Because it's out.
Right. By the time you see this, that'll be out.
We live in the future.
We are.
We're back to the future.
Which was so funny because I saw that you had a documentary coming out. When he asked me to guest host, I was like, oh, this is fucking perfect. I'll watch the documentary. I'll have a million questions. So I go to YouTube, punch in, and it's like, this will be out in 2 days. I'm like, motherfucker. So
What,
it's like, well, the thumbnail for the documentary looked awesome, man. Like, that's what I got so far.
We got a lot out of it so far, yeah.
Right, but I'm excited. I mean, it was like, I saw people just starting to sign up. I'm watching like all the comments. I'm like, yeah, well, no, I'm gonna have to watch that as soon as this is over.
Well, I have 2 questions regarding that. First of all, what made you want to document? Like, I know you've got a Patreon and stuff, and like, that's important, creating that connection with you and the people on Patreon and building that and showing them how the sausage is made, per se. But what made you want to put this out to the public, number 1? Number 2, I know you're getting into cinematography and directing and all that kind of stuff. So did you direct this at all? Did you edit this? Did you have any hand in any of that?
I had my buddy Ben shoot it, but he's having a kid at the time and he needs to focus on that. So I took it under my wing, and while I was editing it, which I just edited on CapCut. Now this was just me I've never done this stuff before other than on a phone app doing a few things. So I did my very best to compile the best material I could find out of, the hours of footage that he took. and just put it all together in a sequence and just kind of, you know, there's not necessarily a story. That's why I called it Moments of Creativity, but it's in order of like the days that what happened. But yeah, you know, I'm definitely getting into cinematography. I wouldn't call this like anything special. I just did it because I felt I didn't want to pay someone else to do something like this. You know, it's not that big of a deal to put text on the beginning and put, you know,
Yes.
together.
Right, we can do that.
Yeah, I did it, and the reason why I did it was just because I'd never done anything like that, you know, and I thought it would be special, and two, like this album is as much as my album as it is the fans. You know, the fans made this happen. We raised just shy of $53,000. So you know, and it was
great.
I can't describe how grateful and surprised I am, but because my fans trust me, and Dayshell isn't a big band by any means, but the ones that love Dayshell, it proves that they love Dayshell. And, you know, not a lot of bands will get that kind of treatment, you know, not on my level. But yeah, I just think it would be another thing special to give back, to make them feel more inclusive to what I did. You know, they didn't get to be there, so I might as well shoot some stuff and, you know, let them kind of live vicariously through the video, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's so important. And Mikey and I have talked about this for years, because as people that are like in music and do these things, we realize that what we do every day is what we do every day, but other people just have this complete other concept of what it's like to be a working and recording and performing musician. So, you know, I'll know this in about 2 hours, but I assume that they get to see like the less glamorous parts about recording a record, because sometimes it's just not, you know, it's not all working with Quincy Jones and like, you know, drop that beat, you know, and all that other stuff. Like there's a lot of work that goes into these things. And I think people forget that we're just people doing our job. Like it's our equivalent of like, yo, flip that hamburger because it's done on that side. Like we have to do that kind of stuff. Like do that take again, try this take again, or I can't get it today, or man, my finger hurts, or, you know, whatever. So I love when musicians like, and especially like super creative people like you, like will kind of like just let other people see that, because it's like, see, I told you it's not all that awesome. Like sometimes you're just pressing a button 500 times because you can't get that part. And like, that's so important for people to see, especially in this case, since like you said, it's for the fans and the fans basically paid for it. It's like it's as close as they get to like being over your shoulder watching what you're doing. And I'm super psyched to see what that looks like.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, I'm just a little bummed that I didn't think about that sooner, or I didn't have the idea in my head, but I had befriended I got a cool friend throughout the past few years, my buddy Ben, and he had the camera, you know, and we started doing some stuff together. So I asked him if he'd fly out for a few days and shoot it, and he did. But I really wish I would have like filmed myself writing the songs, because that's all you see is pre-production of already written songs in this documentary, and me doing vocals and what happens to me in between, which I severely got ill and had to be rushed to the hospital, and was dehydrated. I had a headache, a migraine beyond belief. I was like literally, I can't explain. It was worse than a flu because I felt so unhealthy. Like I was like 10% of my health, and I was just this dying man, and I had to do it. I had to fly like that, and I had to record the whole album like that, you know? Wow. So, yeah, but it kind of shows a little bit of that. And
that's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome for them to see that in you. Like I'm so psyched. Like I just wish I could speed up time and just watch it.
Time out.
Yeah.
Have you guys checked out bigismypodcast.com yet?
It's like the portal to everything Big It Is My Podcast. It's got episodes. Mm-hmm. It's got music.
Yeah.
It's got swag.
Yeah.
And it has a portal to all of our sponsors, our awesome sponsors like GrillYourAssOff.com, Drink Wild Bills, Manscaped, and of course, Mythical Beards.
Mythical Beards, yeah. So check it out. I mean, you can just, from one page, find so many things.
Yes.
Right? Check out our swag. Check out their swag. Get those discount codes. And just, you know, help out the show.
Exactly. And always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?
Yep.
Welcome into Metalhead Journeys. What is Metalhead Journeys? It's exactly how it sounds. It's a journey through the world of metal by a couple of metalheads. Are you thinking of getting into metal? Where do you begin? There's so many different subgenres. What bands are good? What albums are good? We'll provide answers to all of those questions. We'll handle all the research and do all the dirty work by listening to the good, the bad, and the ugly, so you don't have to. Classic albums, new albums, bands no one's ever heard of. Get ready as we'll applaud and criticize with the same passion. This is Metalhead Journeys.
What I wanted to ask is, like, because you brought in Joey Sturgis to come work with you on this, and something that we do a lot of that similar, like, it's not necessarily one man band, but it is. But
yeah, we've all done.
we do the like recording it on our own and all that kind of stuff. So like, for me, I always have a hard time like with vocals, right? How do you find how do you yourself go into a session like to record vocals, and did you do it by yourself on this record, where you're able to pull apart, okay, this is what I need to be a performer, hey, I'm gonna engineer? Are you able to get out of that headspace when you're doing like vocal takes and stuff like that? Are you doing those on your own, or do you bring in Joey to do those? Or do you go to Joey?
That's a good question, because when I record like my songs and I do my demos, there's something very magical that happens with my voice, in my opinion, that's so innocently like loose, and there's just so much more texture and style when I'm doing it for the first time. And then when I get in a booth with Joey, so to speak, and this is no knock at Joey whatsoever, but there's just something inside. I think this is for every singer. Like, there's some kind of like, I don't know if it's resilience or trying to impress them, internally. Like, you're not really like you're what's the word I'm looking for? Your intuition, I guess. No, I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like my takes are too safe when I'm with a producer.
Is it just because you're with a producer, or is it because you've actually worked on the song longer? Like the earlier demos, like you say, like you don't necessarily know them. Your voice maybe doesn't have a muscle memory, and do you know what I mean? Like you get a lot of like, oh, that was interesting, let's try that, just because you don't really know what you're doing. I feel like by the time you're going in to record your record, like you kind of know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I knew exactly. I mean, it was all ready to go when I went in the studio. But, I re-sang everything for the most part. There's a few parts that we used the demo takes because they were just good.
Yeah.
But, I just, some of the parts I'm listening to, that's my biggest critique because, vocals are the forefront of Dayshell. That's why everybody comes to Dayshell. And then musicians love Dayshell for what I do musically. But, so I'm always really anal about that. And but it was awesome working with Joey because when you're by yourself, I'm pretty good at writing these songs pretty close to complete by myself, but there's those few little, that 10% more where a producer comes in and he's like, you need to put a third harmony on here, or you need to change this harmony or something. These little minute tweaks that producers can do really help shape the full, outline of the song, in the long run. So, I think it's important, and I love tracking vocals with Joey. It's the funnest thing ever, dude. We're just goofy as shit, dude, We're just even when I was sick, the fact that I got to record with Joey, a peaceful, respectful person like himself and a goofy guy, he really just helped me just by being himself. I mean, I know he was just being him, but our goofy banter really helped me get through that because, man, every second I just wanted to drop to my knees and cry, dude. Like, I just wanted to give up. I felt that bad.
That's so awful.
On this record, there is so much space. Like, that's the one thing that I like. You always had the ear candy and some of the electronics going on, but this has like legit space, like Diamond Eyes, Deftones space to it, ear candy, ambiance and stuff like that. Did that come with? Was that like just working that way, like working on all this extra like ear candy stuff throughout the years, or is that like Joey's suggestion, or I mean, how did that stuff take shape?
That's a big reason why I went to Joey, because I always see my songs and which even goes to like me now doing the videos for it in the future, is like when I write a song, I see a movie. I mean, I live up by myself in the middle of nowhere, right? There's no roads, it's well water, no real sewage, all that crap. So I got a lot of time on my hands, and I deal with a pre-existing injury that's led me to not touring ever again. And life's not easy for me, right? So I have a lot of time to work on my music and watch movies, and I've always loved movies, but I didn't realize how much I loved them, until like as of late. But when it comes to like writing my songs, I see so much cinematic value into them, and I'm a one-man band. I have to play and do everything. It's almost impossible for me to be great. I mean, I would say the greatest thing I'm at is singing, but everything else I'm just kind of like okay at it, and it's really hard to perfect one of them when you're trying to learn all of them. So when it comes to like all that ear candy that you're talking about, that comes like 50% of me. I definitely had some cool production little ideas and stuff that I sent along with the stems, but it really boils down to Joey and most importantly, John. John did post-production on this. I think his last name's Enberg. I don't know. I'm butchering it, dude. But he took my ideas for, I think, like 5 of the songs on the album or more. And basically what he did, because he professionalizes in like electronic making music. So I sent him my ideas and stuff or the stems to my songs, and he recreated some of them or added or tweaked and manipulated some of them and just brought it to a whole nother world. Plus Joey's ear for impactful value, intention, and release. Prime example is the song You Wish. If you're listening to the breakdown, the bridge, and it's going into the last chorus, you hear these violins start to swell and get dissonant and loud, and you feel this tension so hard, and it explodes into the last chorus, and then we turn up, not like the first 2 choruses, we turn up the keys so it just sounds more huge, and it's just like 4 guys, dude. It was a really good recipe. Everybody was so great, and the production value that you hear is because of all 4 of us working in tangent with one another, and the respect was just so high for each other. There was never an argument. There was never a debacle. Like we knew what we needed to do, and we got in and did it in 10 days and got the fuck out. That's what we did.
Awesome. That's incredible. I have so many questions from what you just said. My brain is just racing with shit, but you brought up You Wish, and I just want to just take 2 minutes. And I want to explain to you how I first heard that song, because it was so funny to me in my head. So I was actually at one of our town parks, was waiting for my daughter. It was one of our town parks. It's sunset. I put my earbuds in. I'm like, I'm going to listen to the new song. I'm at a beautiful park. There's geese. There's swan. There's a lake. And I put on my earbuds. I hit play, and it's got the intro and stuff. And it's like, oh, all right. Okay, ready. Now just picture the most beautiful, serene thing, and then blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wow, I just got kicked in the balls. This is awesome. And it was just so funny because it just the juxtaposition between like this beautiful sunset over a lake and like, man, he's mad. He's mad about something. And then it goes into the exact chorus that like I would have expected from you. Like just this so melodic and just so, but it was just the way it came in, it just like smacked me in my face, stole my wallet, my keys, just like, it was so awesome. And I've been wanting to tell you that so much. And then you brought up the song. Like, I just love how that just comes right at you, because I just wasn't ready for it. And now it's like I'm never gonna get that back, but like I still remember like how I felt the first time I heard it.
Yeah, that's the whole point of that song. Was like I had to talk with Joey. He's like, you should put that as the first song. I'm like, really, dude? It's the heaviest one though. Like we don't want to like give him everything right away. But he's like, no, wake those fuckers up, dude. Yeah. Let's go. And I'm like, you know what? You're damn right. You got it. But fucking scare the shit out of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you it worked on exactly at least one person, because I just love that, and I've been telling that story every time I play the song. So
Hell
yeah. I just love that.
Something that you brought up earlier too is you were like predominantly singing, and then I do everything else, and it's just one guy doing it and stuff. So we, like I said, we do a lot of that ourselves, and I know that in past interviews you've and not to mention. Like, that's the other thing that nobody likes to talk about is, like, when you're a musician and you have a band and you're a one-man band kind of thing, yeah, you have to program or play drums. You have to play bass, guitar, sing, keys, whatever else. But also now in the current climate, and you're independent as well, so you have to be PR manager, you have to be social media
Oh,
manager,
yeah, all
you
the
have to be booking agent,
non-music
you have
stuff.
to be
Yeah.
everything, right? In recent interviews, you actually said that you would possibly be interested in joining a project that exists already. I mean, do you have any, because you went from a band and then you became your own thing, and I left a band and I became my own thing, and I felt a little bit better, and I got the itch, and I got into a band again, and then like a year into it or so, I'm like starting to see the things where I'm like, yeah, this is why I like working with less people, kind of thing. I mean, have you attempted to do anything outside Dayshell in terms of like joining a band or anything like that in the past however many years it's been?
No, I mean, I've had people hit me up and I've tried to collab with some people, but nobody ever follows through. You know, that's one thing, you know, I'm very focused and determined. And a lot of people I've come to find in this industry, they're in love with the idea than the actual act of doing it. And at heart, I'm a true fan of music. You know, I'm not here to look cute and have somebody write my songs and reap the benefits of popularity. No, I'm here to push my limits and my boundaries and hopefully inspire the next generation to be better than me, you know, because, you know, I really feel like there's not a lot of people like me in my genre trying to push limits like the limits the way that I do them. You know, so the genre needs somebody like me, you know, like who else is going to do it? Fuck.
Right.
Yeah. Are you still like thinking about, all right, well, I'd like to like join something existing, you know, something just to kind of, because like
Just
our
to
buddy
get out.
Tim he joined something, and it was just like, cool, I could just bring my guitar and not have to worry about writing all the songs
so good.
and singing all the songs and
Right. Booking
all the shows,
anything and caring about, you know, social media. Just show up, play a few chords, be like, thank you, everybody. Good night. That sounds like the dream.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. You know, like I'm definitely waiting. I know I have some plans to do another song possibly with Andromeda again after his album drops. But yeah, I mean, I would love it. It'd have to be the right people, you know, it have to be for the right reasons, and people that are determined, you know, if I'm going to lay my vocals over this and push this and I'm still going to work. It's not like I'm trying to get a free pass. I'm just trying to take a little bit of the load off over here, so I don't have to worry about that. Like maybe the mixing and the writing of the music side. Sure. I'll do all the vocal posts and make videos and be creative for us to post, you know, like that, be a team effort. But most of the time when you're in a fucking band, there's only one guy doing it all.
Right.
Or two if you're lucky. Other than that, there's just people there freeloading, asking for royalties and thinking they have an opinion in the music, even though they don't write it. You know.
Right. Well, that's always fun.
Well, when you play drums to something, you created the beat. Because without the drums, there wouldn't be a song.
There wouldn't be a song. Right. That's I hear that all the time. It's crazy.
It's crazy. That's the thing with me is like, you know, I got back into it, and the same, like you said, same situation. It's just like, fuck. You're right, and it's not just the industry. I just think that a lot of people are just lackadaisical and not driven to do something better, and like you said,
exactly.
You know, leave a legacy kind of thing.
I mean, in fairness to you, like you tend to when you join a band, you tend to be part of the band. Like you want to be, excuse me, in the band.
Yeah,
and the sweeter spot is actually being in a band that kind of lets you do what you do. Like I feel like that's something that you could use. And I think a lot of people could use that. But to your point, like it doesn't help if you're still the only one doing anything. You know, like when you were doing the record and you said you were like working with Joe, but anyway, I always forget that Joey Sturgis is a real person, just because I just use his plugins all the time, and it's just like I'm working with my friend Kmart. You know what I mean? Like I forget he's an actual person,
right?
Because it's like I just put on the Sturgis tones, it's a brand, but I forgot there's an actual person behind that. But so like you said, you went into the studio to do the vocals with him, but for the rest of this stuff, like you were saying with the John guy, like are you like, here's all my stems, and like a week later you get back a package of stems and you have to listen to it, or is it like more back and forth, or is it like...
Well, the way it worked in this studio is John has Studio B upstairs, So
Oh.
when I flew in, we just went ham, right? I flew in first day. I had to catch up because I was in the hospital, so I had to like get some last minute stems they needed, or I needed to bounce them correctly, whatever. So I got that going. I sent them. John had them all upstairs. While we're working down here. John's up there. I hear something. I run up there. I'm listening to him. I'm going, yeah. And then I run back down and then come back. Or just one day he just surprises me. You know, I didn't really mess with him. You know, I was just like, there was only like one time where I went up there and it was specifically for, or actually commented on what I want, like what would be cool. Mm-hmm. And C'est La Vie, I was like, dude, we need to put some Mongolian like throat singing the intro of this song. And then, you know, he found a Mongolian and we were just sitting there like laughing and we're walking back downstairs, me and Joey, to go back to work, even though that's work too. But, you know, I just started doing it for fun, the Mongolian sounding, and I got it. And I was like, holy crap, I felt blown out. And it was in the right key, the rasp and everything. So we recorded it. And what you hear in the intro of that song is me.
No shit.
Awesome.
That is sick. That is really awesome. All right, quick timeout. I want to let everybody know that despite the summer being gone and heading into the fall, does not mean that grilling season is over.
No, if you have a grill, it is always grilling season.
I feel like it's just getting started. And if you're grilling, if you're cooking, if you're doing any of that, make sure you do that with grillyourassoff.com.
Taste the freedom.
Exactly. Grill Your Ass Off is an awesome, awesome company. It is made in Texas. It is veteran-owned, and they were Small Business of the Year.
Yeah, Veteran Small Business of the Year 2023, which is awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
They also just partnered with Sailor Jerry. Now, rum may be my personal avoid at all costs booze, but some people really love it. And I guess I have to admit, even at its worst, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a new Sailor Jerry Ironsides barbecue sauce that you can check out too. And anything that you decide to get at grillyourassoff.com. You want a deal? You want a special? You want some money off? Use the promo code.
Bacon. Because everything's better with bacon.
Yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Come on. 10% off. Get it on all of their jerkies, all of their seasonings, all of their condiments, even their swag. Their swag is pretty sweet.
Yeah, spread some seasoning on those swags.
So definitely head over to grillyourassoff.com, use the promo code BACON for 10% off, and always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?
Hey guys, Matt coming at you from The Real Drunks. Hey, if you're into movies, booze, craft beers, and just shooting the shit with your friends, join myself, Jake, and Alyssa on The Real Drunks on the Deluxe Edition Network and anywhere you get your podcast from. That's The Real Drunks, REEL, The Real Drunks. Check us out.
That's really cool that you guys could all do that.
Yeah, like John just kind of just did his thing, and I would just approve or not. But you know, the thing is, like I said, I think we all just knew what this album needed. So there wasn't any like, nope. It was just more like, how are we balancing all these cool sounds, right?
Right. Yeah, I really like the fact that you are so, not, you know, like 99% of the material, and yet you find space to let other people do what they're good at.
Yeah,
on your material, which is like, it's pretty rare. You find, because usually if you find somebody that's in control that much, it's I'm in control all of it, and the magic really happens when you're like, you're good at this, you do that, and I love to hear that you basically just did that. Here, make this magical. Go make this magical.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just looked at it as like a sense of relief, you know, doing this all by myself. It's very frustrating, and like there's nobody there, there's nobody behind me rooting me on. You know, like, nobody's saying that's a killer part. So when I was there, when I finally got to send my files to other people, it was just like, thank goodness, help is on the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's I feel it. I feel it here.
That's I think finding those people in your life is super important. Like between him, my co-host Jimmy, and I, when we have new material, like that's literally the circle, and we literally just throw demos, throw that kind of stuff. If it wasn't for these guys, I'd be fucking lost.
He did that to me on one of my songs on the last record. I don't even remember which song it was, but I kind of in the back of my head knew I had phoned the chorus in because it fit, but it was also low, and I was like, yeah, I could sing this really easily. And I knew it here, and then I sent it to him, and I got a text. He's like, "Chorus sounds a little lazy," and I was like, "Yeah, I know." Like, so it's important to have that, like, and it's just that's why I think I respond so much, or it resonates so much with me, like that you're telling that, you know, the way that you were working it, like, everybody was like doing a station, like this was, you know, the shrimp station, and that this is the meat station, but like everybody's like really good at what they're doing, and so that kind of those ingredients explain so much.
Yeah.
Why the product is so good. Like just right out of the box.
It wasn't like an album where I came in and like, help me write this. You know, what Joey's probably mainly used to is, you know, most bands come in with just a couple ideas, couple songs, and then Joey writes and everybody else writes and finishes the songs for them. Right. So like, it wasn't a sense of them having to do that. This was a great opportunity to see what everybody could do to make these already good songs fabulous. And I think everybody nailed it. Like, I put 100% trust in Joey, of course. I mean, he's my dude, he's my bro, I love him to death. So, you know, having him, and he was, you know, the leader of this whole journey, and he just made the right calls. You know, it's all the way down to, we got real violin players and cello players on this. You know, that was his call. He's like, we need it. It'll just give it that, even though we could get away with it with synth, you know, we just need that extra organicness with it, you know?
Yeah. And you know you got a good product, and it's like, dude, we need real violin players. Like, that's what's missing. It's like everything else is just perfect. We need this. Like, I love that.
Yeah. That's a huge difference. That makes it, and like spatial wise, you could hear the space in a reel versus a MIDI for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
So we're talking about all these roles you've taken on in Dayshell and how you're looking to take a load off, but then you're getting into cinematography and stuff. So like, obviously automatically people go, oh, well, obviously he just wants to do music videos or whatever. But like, what other aspirations do you have getting into cinematography? You said you're very into movies, you watch a lot of movies and stuff like that. So like, what are some of the things that inspired you to kind of pivot and get into it?
What inspired me is people disappointing me. You know, that's really how I work, is you disappoint me enough, I'm just going to do it myself, because I know I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to get it done the way that I want it to be done. And that's really what it boils down to. And this is not to talk shit on anybody in particular. There's just been enough throughout my journey. And I'm not saying everybody that took a photo or shot a music video screwed me. In fact, I'm thankful for everybody, you know, on this album. But in general, you know, I don't want to have to wait on somebody's availability. I'm tired of that shit. Cancellations, this and that. Oh, this is going on in my life. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You know, like, well, what about me? So it gets to that point where I was just so upset, and it's killing me, because this album meant so much to me, and it still does, you know. So I was like, I got to get into this, and for the future, like, I got to do something. Like, something has to I have to separate myself more from the norm. I have to be something different, and I'm just creative, dude. There's just so much shit going on in my brain all the time, and I have to get it out. I have to, you know, it's not just like I want to, I have to do it. Like, I feel it right now. Like, just talking about it makes me want to grab a camera and make something, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's really for the future. I'm basically going to probably do one, because I shot a music video that comes out next Friday, and it's on a tripod, but I try to make it as much as interesting as I can. I don't want to spoil it too much. You guys will see. Yeah. But I'm really proud of that, because that allowed me to understand proper exposure, color grading, and like just messing with DaVinci Resolve, which is what I'm editing in, and trying to figure that out. So you know, that's my first step. Okay, I got those things figured out. What's next? Now I need to control the camera and be the guy behind the camera. You know, my whole idea moving forward is do a music video probably for like C'est La Vie, since I really like that song, and there's just so much cinematic shit happening in it. See what I can do there. But moving forward, like, I don't think I'll ever be able to do an album again in this, you know, day and age, with how music works, and how, you know, all the songs other than your singles on your album really don't get the light of day, really, if you look at statistics. So it's like, it's kind of a waste of money to release it like that, when I could focus on one banger song and then do a cinematic movie behind it. I'm not just talking about a music video. What I have in my head is to build the story, and next year do 5 songs And within those 5 songs are 5 videos, but it's a continuous story. And it's not just when the song starts in this. No, there's like an intro and there's an outro and there's acting and there's grit and there's grime and there's mysterious and there's characters and there's things and people you love in it, and build this story and have every release just be extra special. Not only do I have a cool song coming out, but I have this awesome visual behind it. And the people that watched the first one want to know what happened to Steve. Did he die or not? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Right,
that.
right.
It's always Steve.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm already wanting to see it, man. What are you doing here? Come on. I'm so ready for this. Like, I'm so psyched. I was like, I already thought like you're already working on this. Like, I'm ready to check this out. Because that sounds so awesome. It sounds like something that's absolutely the next step for, you know, because I mean, people are always wanting more from musicians. Honestly. Right. Because everybody can put out a single. I mean, nobody's doing records anymore. I mean, like, because for exactly what you just said, like, you don't do records. We've done our last record. We're all about singles now because you can really focus on doing a single. But if you're going to do like some sort of mastery behind, you know, some like TSO level story that you're telling across like 5 songs, like, first of all, it's going to piss everybody off having to wait like 60 to 90 days and build that hype. And they're just like, come on, man. Just release the video. What happened to Steve, man?
Yeah, everybody wants to know.
Right. But that'll be awesome. And that creates intensity, and it creates, you know, like the user experience. Like, they're invested in this story now because it's way more than just the song. And if you can get the song, like if the song is just the natural extension of the video thing that you're doing, and like you said, like you just want to be doing more and more of this stuff, so it's your vision, like there's not going to be this discrepancy between what the video guy thought you meant and, you know, what the producer thought you meant in the song. Like, it's going to be your vision. It's going to be exactly what you wanted it to be. Like, I am super psyched for this already, and it doesn't even exist.
Same, dude. I'm scared of it, but I have to do it, you know, and every time I put my mind to something, like I somehow pull it off. And that's what I'm going to do. You know, I know it's like, Shay, don't you have enough shit you still need to learn? But yeah, but you know, at the same time, I only live once, dude. Like, I want to be remembered as somebody that, like, damn, you know, I just want to be remembered for a couple years after my death, at least, you know? Right. Jeez.
Well, I think the challenge is enough to motivate you. Like, just like, oh, that's going to be hard. I'm going to do it twice. You know, and like, that's like, I love hearing that in other people because it just creates, it removes all these boundaries and limits of like what people are thinking is normal. Like that old model that, you know, you do this and you tour. Like, I love this. You're creating like content, like real content for something that just doesn't really exist. Nobody else is doing that. Like, it's,
people have done, but I'm like, my whole thing is just like to dedicate my whole future to it. You know, I've seen people try to do these mini movies, and, you know, I can't really say what mine's going to turn out. It may be shitty for all we know, but one thing's for sure is, you know, my idea of good is usually good, you know, like I don't, if something's not right and a song isn't where I need it to be, it's not being released. And this is the same outlook I'm going to do with my film. How I'm going to achieve and write these stories and do that, that's going to be the journey, and that's going to be the fun. You know, those eureka moments I love. Like in writing music, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, God dang it. Like, that's so awesome. Same with film, dude. You're holding the camera and you see this shot, and all of a sudden you see it explode, and you got the frame, and you're like, this is why people love film. This is amazing. Like, I am addicted, dude. And, you know, like, you should have seen me like last month, because I just got into this like 2 months ago. And every night till 3 a.m, I'm doing research on what lenses I need. What the fuck is the difference between aperture and ISO? And what is ISO? And why are people calling aperture this and that? Right. You know, like, and then DaVinci, like, what the hell? How do I even use this thing? It's nothing like Logic, you know? But it's all fun, and I, you know, I can't wait. And I hope that this conversation, you know, comes up after I do this, and, you know, I did it. Right? I made you guys proud, you know?
That's awesome. I'm so excited for you. I mean, I know what you said, like, you said, you know, you got to start Googling everything. Like, what is this? And like, why is this one better? It's like, because you don't know what you don't know. And then you're like, you know, three days deep in like a Reddit rabbit hole of why this aperture is better. It's like, oh man, I haven't slept.
This whole thing actually, so it reminds me of one of the guests that were on a few months ago. We had Project 86. Mm-hmm. They have a Patreon as well, and they, like, the whole concept that they're doing is very much like that. but they're doing concept records, and each record they're doing a full length movie. It's a two-part record. They're doing 2 parts of 2 different records. They're doing a full length movie on each one, and a comic book series, and they're in early development of a fucking video game. I think it's like a first person video game.
So it's like a whole industry on this one record.
It's wild. It's a concept, 2 concept records, obviously, but yeah, that it like just the way that you're thinking and the way that he was thinking is just like, man, there's so many moving parts. It's like hard to wrap your head around, but you're like, oh man, this is gonna be so sick.
Like, I'm so grateful that we have opportunities to do that in this day and age.
Right.
But there's half of me that like, dude, why can't I just write a song like Slow Ride and like go tour for 4 years on that one song? You know what I mean? Like, those days you can't like write a great song anymore and then like, cool, I'm done, I guess. Like, that's just not how that works. I mean, unless you're like Ed Sheeran,
Sure.
or Taylor Swift or whatever. But like, I mean, I've had that conversation with my family a lot. Like, why don't you write a hit song? It's like, oh, why didn't I think of that? like it's just no, because even if you write the hit song, now you have to do all this other hit stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not creative like him at all. Like, if I did a movie, it would be like it'd be like those stick figures you would draw, like in paper, like in class, where you just have to flip. Oh, there's my movie.
Hey, have you ever wondered how you could actually help the show out? I mean, not just like listening and giving a 5-star review or buying a t-shirt or working with
a little bit
sponsors.
of extra zazz.
Yeah. Are you one of those people that likes extra stuff? That likes a little bit more? Can't spell extraordinary without that little extra.
Exactly. So if you like that stuff, if you want a little bit of extra bacon, like tasting shows and cooking shows and early access to episodes, I mean, shoot, you can't get any earlier than live.
That's true.
Every week we do our discussion and drinks live for our patrons over at patreon.com/baconismypodcast.
Check it out. Check out the tiers. See what's right for you. Help us out. We love you. Thanks for being a part of it. Remember to ask yourself, what's your bacon?
Something that so we asked you, we said it at the end of What's Your Bacon in 7 questions. The whole gist of this show is what's your bacon? Bacon could be literally anything. You are a driven, hardcore, straightforward musician, but you got to get your mind off things somehow. So what is that bacon in your life that makes it a little bit easier to deal with? Get your mind off things, slow you down a little bit. It seems like you don't like to slow down, but when you do, what is that bacon?
I don't know. Bacon does, like the actual bacon that you fry and eat. That is definitely helpful.
That'll slow you down.
Yeah. That'll definitely make you think twice about your life and and all. But I don't know, man. Like that's it. Like I like I said, I live alone in the middle of nowhere, and if I'm not working on songs, I'm building guitars and figuring out how to find the right guitar to do the stuff that I want to do. Because I mean, if you guys want to get a conversation on guitars, I'll talk for days, because I use some interesting instruments that a lot of people don't use. Most of the songs you hear on the album are in double drop E, and I use a 30 scale 6-string baritone crossover bass guitar. It's called an Ibanez SRC6. So it's technically a bass, 6-string bass short scale, but with guitar string spacing.
Wait, did they make that, or did you make that from out of something else?
No, they discontinued it, and they released a new model. I bought it and immediately returned it as a piece of shit. So thinking about the one I have now, but that's the thing. Like, why am I using that? Why did I choose to get a 30 scale baritone crossover bass? Well, the biggest misconception in metal and guitar players is the way to go lower is to have more strings, and that's incorrect on many ways. Because yes, you can have a normal 25.5 scale 7-string guitar and tune it to drop A, but the problem what you're going to have to do in order for that string to stay in tune and not pitch drift as much is to put a bigger string on there. The problem what happens when you put a bigger string on that short of a fretboard is your intonation. And not only is that the only problem, the other problem is tonality. You're losing the natural harmonics you would get out of a lighter gauge string that help that piercing crunch that you hear. And now you're getting this more muffled tone because the string's so thick. So when you extend the scale to 30, you get that much more tension in your string. That means you can put a lighter gauge string on. So I'm rocking an 80 and I'm in double drop E on a 30 scale, and I'm getting all the tone I need out of it. And it sounds like as if I was playing on a normal 6-string guitar in standard. So if you're really anal about intonation and playability and how the strings attack and feel and bounce back, you got to start thinking like, string gauge and scale length for what tuning,
I actually like what you said about the whole going lower, getting more strings and stuff like that. Dude, I had a 7-string for a little while. I hated it. I ended up getting actually the same baritone you got that I convinced you to get.
Yeah.
I got it. I switched ever since. So I have a PRS 277, and then as a backup, I actually built a Fender baritone
with their Sonic whatever neck. Yeah, I built one.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I have it's got a single PRS HMV pickup on it.
See,
I'm a sucker for like one volume knob and one
I
pickup. That's my thing.
I used to be because I got in guitar back in the day because I heard Blink-182 and I realized that they're not really good at their instruments, and I thought, hey, maybe I could do that, and I could. The first day I learned a couple of Blink songs, and I was like, yeah, I didn't really mess with any pickups other than the bridge pickup till after of my cement. And then this new album, like most of my leads are on a single coil neck pickup because there's just something about that glassy, bassy, thick tone you get out of it. It's just wonderful. And that's what I've been experimenting too. Like I'm totally building my guitars, not necessarily the necks, but like I'm wiring them. I'm trying different, bridges and modifying them, all that stuff. So I've been down the rabbit hole for the past like 3 years, trying to build my guitars to give me the tone that you're hearing on the new album. And keep in mind, we're still going through amp simulators, but that doesn't mean like your initial signal can't, you can get most of the work there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Every producer will tell you that, like, if the best you're starting with, like, will only make it better. But if you're starting with garbage, like no amp simulator in the world is going to fix it.
Yeah.
That's so cool that, like, because I am not a gearhead and I never have been a gearhead, but I've always been fascinated with like what you actually just said about the intonation and scale length. Like Mikey said, like he talked me into getting a baritone like not too long ago, and it changed my life literally. And I realized that I absolutely had no idea why that was. I didn't even take a minute to pause and think about it. I was just literally like, oh, this is way better, and I just went on with my day. And then you just explained why it's better, and now I know that, and I realized that I didn't even bother to know. I was just so grateful that the universe had provided this magical 27 whatever inch being that made my job so much easier, and all of a sudden I'm in tune up here. Like, this is so cool.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I love hearing like all about, like, because you see that, like, we'll get the rail pickups, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, dude. Like, just hand me a guitar, tell me it sounds good. Like, so it's cool that you're like, did you always know this, or are you just like learning this as you go, and now you're like, I need my double for this song. Like, can you do that now? Like, where you hear it in your head, like only this the double E can double drop E. Like, I need this guitar for this sound. Like, does your head work that way? Like,
no, it's just a matter of, again, like when I get so frustrated and something's not working, I have to figure it out and I have to do it myself. And I was trying guitars. I was going to Guitar Center, buying a guitar, wasn't working. The intonation, the string was buzzing on the fret. I'd raise the action really high and it's still buzzing on the fret. Where's it buzzing? How? Like stuff like that. You're like, you're
take
going
the frets out. There's no
so,
frets.
So keep in mind, remember, this is my solace, right? This is my break from music, but it turned into my hell. I actually had to like separate myself from it because of the obsession of trying to find the perfect guitar that works for what I'm doing. And none of my guitars are there, but they're close and they're able to do it. But, it's just years of just research and finding people and understanding the importance of string gauge and scale length, depending on your tuning. There's like a couple websites like Stringjoy that have like a chart that you can look up, and they'll show you the amount of tension you need for a certain tuning and what string gauge. you know, so you can get a like more. I didn't even look at that. I just experimented because I got lucky and got endorsed by, which was my only endorsement, but Ernie Ball, and I just went ape shit and bought a whole bunch of
Yeah.
and I had to find like my own. All my string packs are custom too. There's none that I buy other than my like standard guitar that's in standard E. But even that I buy a weird pack. But they're all different because everything has to feel, and each guitar is its own entity.
Yeah.
And even if you have two of the same guitars, I don't care if people think like wood doesn't matter. You're out of your fucking mind if you feel that way. Sure, pickups can cover it all up, but the way that I play guitar is acoustically, and I mean that with electrics. So that's how I find out a guitar's worth my time. Right. Is the feel it vibrate through my guitar, the sustain, the clarity. Because a lot of guitars you'll hit the first three strings and they'll sound like wet under a blanket, and then the last three strings are nice and bright as day. You're like, what the hell? Right. You know, I can't stand that. I'm like OCD, dude. It has to be all consistent. Everything has to be perfect. So, yeah, man, it was definitely a long journey, and I've learned a lot of knowledge, and I still haven't found my Excalibur, so to speak.
Right.
But I think that I know what I'm looking for now at the very least, you know?
That's awesome.
And other than guitars, I like to play video games here and there, you know? But those piss me off too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that could. How many, what are your Xbox, right?
Nah, I'm PlayStation 8.
PS4? Oh, okay. 5. No, wait. Yeah, we're at 5 now.
Yeah, 5.
Dude, I don't even know.
Yeah,
PS4 so like 3 years ago, man. Get with it.
How many PlayStation controllers have you gone through?
Oh, I actually still have the original. I bought a second one just, you know, when the other one dies, and none of them break. One of them kind of like gets weird here and there, but I bought it used, so, you know.
Yeah.
My headset, though, you see this shit. So, I got this headset, right, and it keeps breaking, and I had to, this is my only way, super glue and dirt, dude.
Okay.
It works.
It works. It seems like it's cement now.
It's probably like the
it
mud
really
that holds all those ancient villages together, like under Pompeii, like it's volcanic ash. Just give it.
Yeah,
oh man,
it works, man. It's a great headset. They just kind of miscalculated on the structural integrity, I guess.
Well, it totally makes sense that somebody would fix a guitar that's like the wrong length and all that other shit would be able to figure out how to fix a headset, or probably like everything, like in your life, like. Dude,
it's so funny you say that, because the reason why I use dirt is because there's a trick you do when you're filing your nuts for a guitar. Mm-hmm. You know, if you, let's say you get, or it's too low, the trick you do is you put baking soda in the nut slot, and then you put super glue on it. Then you let it dry, and then you reslot it. Well, basically that's what I was thinking when I did this. I'm like, well, I'll put super glue on it, and then I'll put dirt on it, and then it'll harden and make it harder, because the super glue would take forever to dry anyways if I didn't do that, and it dries instantly when you throw the dirt on and hardens. So
that's awesome. See, like that's real knowledge. It's real knowledge, because you're able to like export it out to other areas. Like that's no, seriously. I mean, like, you know, like the fact that you're like that's what separates us from like a lot of the other animals. Like it's like us and apes, like, you know, when the stick, oh, this will work here. Like he basically just did that. Right. That's like an evolutionary leap right there. Like, it's like a next level of human, that just moving that knowledge over. Like that's awesome.
Going back to the strings real quick. You said you're a stickler about strings. My only thing that bothers me, and it's my quirk, it's so fucking weird, and people tell me all the time, oh, that's so weird. I need a wound G string. Need it.
100%. And that depends, though. It depends on what tuning you're in. There's a maximum thickness for the G string before it starts just sounding like a doo-doo, dun, dun, right? And it feels like crap. But like for me, and primarily like the tuning that Dayshell started on was in drop B. So I always, and I convinced all the guitar players that were in that band, I'm like, you need to get a wound 24. All right. So don't get a plain 24. You're going to hate your life. So I'm for that, you know, depending though, like a standard pack of 9s, you don't want a wound G on a 9.
No, it'll sound, it'll sound weird.
I have one.
On a standard?
Yep. That Strat over there. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you do that because it's always out of tune and shit, and that helps it stay in tune more?
I don't like the twang of it. Like, this isn't even just like that guitar. This is like literally across the board when I first started. Like,
so you're like one of those people that just can't even look at mayonnaise. Like you need a wound
yeah.
G.
Yes,
Oh, that's-
exactly. It's my
Okay.
weird quirk.
That's it. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
all
that's
right. I mean,
weird,
that's a
but
weird quirk to have.
It's weird, but it also creates a different tone. It really does. From plain to wound, it's a far different
Yeah.
tone. It's funny you say that because the G string on like standard, that's all I love that string. It's like the bendiest. It feels the coolest. It gives me enough wide range of notes. But I feel you either way. I'm team both, dude.
I know my guitarist, he plays a lighter gauge than me, and I'm convinced it's because he fucks up so much that he just needs to bend up a lot and I watch him do it. Like, you're hitting the wrong note, dude. No, am I? Like, I get there, but I feel like he plays
you're
the
in B
lighter.
too. You're in
Yeah,
B, so.
but he plays, because I play the chunkier shit, and he does a lot of the melodies, so like nobody really gives a shit what's going on down there for him. But it's funny to know that about the wound G string for you. I think I'm sure, because I'm in drop B. I think it's the law that I have a wound G, right?
So.
Like,
Yeah,
you can't do it.
It's disrespectful to yourself and your guitar if you have a plain G in drop B anyhow.
Yeah, because I'm in drop B on a baritone guitar. Like, I think the police would come.
No, for sure. They cart you. They definitely cart you away.
Excuse me, sir. Is that an unwound G? Who let you in here?
Well, Shayley, we've taken up a lot of your time, and we really do appreciate you hanging out with us for so long. This is really, really cool. Actually, this episode marks the very last episode of the 3rd year of this show.
Really?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. When this drops.
Yes.
And then that next week will be the 3-year anniversary. So
Can I ask him one more question from the notes, if you don't mind?
Yes. So I don't know, Shayley, you up for it?
It's not even music related, but I read this in the notes and I was like, I have to ask about that. So in our notes, it basically says that you're a self-proclaimed typo king, which I make a lot of typos myself. I just want to know if there was like one that was like, oh my God, so bad. Like, do you have any of those typos?
Oh, sure. Not even me, dude. Like, okay, I'm not the best speller. I'm not the best reader. I wasn't the best in school, although I passed fairly well, surprisingly. But it's not me anymore. It's the damn iPhone, dude. It changed everything. I don't know what it is, dude, and I don't want to have to proofread every single thing I do. And sometimes I'm in a rush and I do stuff and I post it and I go, oh, I didn't mean to say suck my ass. I didn't say, are you over?
That's kind of what I was wondering, because like those are the ones that I do, and it's like, that's not, you gotta know I didn't mean to send that.
Sometimes I just let it ride. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. You fucking decode that shit.
You figure out what I meant.
See, I thought that was we're.
Yes.
Because we're. Whenever I want to use one, it gives me the other. When I try to use the other one, it gives me the other.
Dude,
one.
it's just fuck. And I think it's really just fucking with you.
But this is like legit. This is like legit, completely miscrossed messages. Yeah. There's no need for asterisk and this is like, that's messed up. I'm gonna have to call you now.
Right, exactly. This is a call.
Okay. Dude, thank you so much. Guys, check out Pegasus. It's fucking awesome. Go check out Moments of Clarity.
Yeah, documentary's
I'm excited for T-minus 48 minutes.
Well, that's for us.
For us.
In the past.
We're
in the future now.
We're in the future.
So it's out, and it's already at 1 million views.
Right.
So
go watch it, stream it. Shayley, let everybody know where they can find everything Dayshell. And you.
Go to solo.to/Dayshell. You can pretty much find everything up to date there. I don't know when you guys are seeing this, but Friday the 13th, I have something special dropping on my YouTube, so make sure you check that one out.
It's coming out after that. So
okay, well then.
So they'll go back and look.
Check out whatever he's talking about
because it's out now.
Because it's out now.
Go to his YouTube.
Yes,
definitely right now
for sure. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for 3 years of fun and stuff. Woo, Jimmy,
3 years.
If you were here,
I'm here.
All right. Well, you're more handsome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for filling in.
Yeah,
guys. Until the next time, always remember to ask yourself one super important question. Shayley, do you remember what that question is?
What's your bacon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy.
Okay.
All right. There you have it.
There you have it.
Shayley Bourget from Dayshell. What did you think filling in, man?
I was I had so much fun. I thought Shayley was so impressive just as a human being and a creator of music. Like, I was super impressed.
He's a creative force. You could tell.
Yeah. He makes me, like, want to just, like, go start doing stuff, but, like, I'm tired. So, like, I want to do it.
This is one of those episodes that, like, we like, when Jimmy and I do this, we come out of the interview sometimes as, like, going, oh, well, we just met a new friend. Oh, sometimes we like... Sometimes it has no effect on us, but, like, yeah, seeing his, like, drive and vision and, like, yeah, I don't really know how to do that. I need to figure that out.
Right.
It's inspiring. It's fucking inspiring.
Inspiring is definitely the word, because it's like, you know, I want to do that. Like, why is he excited? Why am I not more excited? Like, I'm excited now. Like, that's... Yeah. It's inspiring, and it's like, it's the kind of thing that really just sort of shakes the dust off you when you are just being complacent, and I don't want to say lazy, but I just can't really think of a better word right now. Like, when you're just, like, in your rut and you don't even know it. And, like, you see somebody like that, it's like, well, fuck, this guitar didn't sound good, so I'm going to build another one out of dirt. And it'll sound better. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like,
hell yeah.
That was super impressive.
Blown away by his new record too. Go check out Pegasus. Go check out Moments of Clarity, the documentary. On it. The little moments that made making the record. I'm really excited to check that out.
That's cool.
By now I have checked it out.
Yes. Well, from the future.
Because we live in the future.
And I really appreciate you asking me to be on. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to feel really bad if anything should happen to Jimmy.
Well, you know what? Something that we didn't hit in the episode, and I completely forgot to hit, was he wasn't here today because he got last-minute tickets all of a sudden for Jaws the Musical. And actually, we got a picture from the set, and I will pop that in here. I'll show DJ.
Jimmy got all access to the shark?
No. Also, Ian Shaw, his son is his character in the play.
Oh, okay.
And he looks exactly like Ian Shaw. Like, dead on. I'll show you a picture. So, on Strangerhood TV, you're going to be able to see.
Very cool.
That is the set, which is the back of Jaws' boat.
We're going to need
a bigger boat. The shark is broken. And, so if you're watching on Strangerhood TV, in the middle, that's Ian Shaw. That's his son. That's not Ian Shaw.
Wow.
That is new actors.
Just completely just cloned right there. Huh?
Right? Exactly.
That's bananas.
So we hope he and Annie enjoy it. We expect a full review.
I think that's a fair
written out,
double spaced,
minimum of how many words?
Well, like 10-point font. At least 150 words. I mean, it's a play.
Anything bigger than 10, you're just a fucking pig.
Yeah, I mean, like, why even bother going? Like, why are we
unbelievable? So, DJ, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for doing this, man. It's really cool.
It is so my pleasure, and I really did have a good time. I actually cannot believe how fast it went.
Yeah,
and like that is just that was a lot of fun. I do miss doing stuff like this. So again, thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for filling in for the last show of the third year of this show. The next show is going to be a live recording if you're on our Patreon over at patreon.com/makingismypodcast.
That's a good place.
It is November 5th is the actual live version of it. It will drop to non-Patreons over at November 6th on all streaming platforms. So, November 5th. And who's going to be there?
Well, November 5th is the day to be there. November 6th, like, why even bother?
You're going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
So you are going to be on the show 2 weeks in a row.
Am I winning another award?
That's not until January.
But you could just...
We could talk about it.
Yes, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, you're going to be there. It's going to be really awesome. We got a lot of really cool guests. We've got DJ. We've got Leia.
Actually, the best part is you did tell me all the guests, and I want to point out that I am the least important guest of all of them. And you were very kind. You were like, no, that's not true. But we both know it's true. Yeah. Because I know the rest of the guests, and they're all like stars. And I'm like, yes, and DJ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's gonna be the return of DJ and AJ from Werewolves. They're gonna get to hang out again. We got Leah.
I like AJ.
We got Leah. We've got Spencer Chamberlain. We've got Josh Bradford from Silverstein, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be popping in, talking about some memories and the usual chats, if you will. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Check us out.
So that's next week.
That is next week.
In the future.
In the future. So before we head out, DJ.
Yes.
Please.
No.
Let everybody know where they can find everything you, Hard Rock Lunchbox, and Revel in the Nines.
Right. Well, okay. So Revel 9, you just go to revel9.com. That'll get you there. Or Revel 9 Band on all your other socials is good. Hard Rock Lunchbox, you can go to hardrocklunchbox.com. That'll get you to the show archive, and it'll also get you a link to the live show, which is Thursdays, noon to 2 Eastern. It's a live show. That means anything can happen. Anything usually does happen. It also never starts on time. So please don't be there at noon. You're just going to make me feel bad. But you can jump into the chat. You can just listen live. What we do is we basically just find new music and we talk to our friends in the scene. And we just kind of hang out. And I tell you what's going on in my world for about 20 minutes. It's usually never good.
20 minutes?
In the beginning.
In what world?
Well, in 20 minutes or 25 minutes in the beginning. The top 20.
I was going to say top 20 is never 20 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Even the one time I was like, it's going to be short today was like 25 minutes.
Right.
And I never really realized it until I go to edit it. And you can watch those on Stranger TV, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
I always forget that. Like when you're here just slumming it with the Bacon is My Podcast, like slum it a little harder to the left and you'll pick
go
up
there
the top
Thursday.
20. Yeah.
Thursdays.
Yeah, it comes out on Thursday. I totally forgot that I actually have a show on Stranger TV, as did most of America.
You wouldn't know that.
I wouldn't know that. I always forget to watch it. So where can they find you?
Me, personally, I'm at Me My Own Self Mike on all the socials. Something Heavy, new single is officially coming out on November 8th.
I heard it.
You did?
It's very good.
Oh, thanks.
It's very good.
It's okay.
It's very good.
Don't.
Shh. It's very
temper your expectations, folks.
No, it's very good.
So yeah, check it out on digital platforms everywhere. November 8th. We still have music up there as well, and check us out on social media at Something Heavy. Don't forget, we are a part of the Den. Do you know what that means, DJ?
I have no idea.
The Den is the Deluxe Edition Network. We are actually a part of an awesome network with amazing, amazing podcasts. There's about 26 of them. And yeah, there's the Deluxe Edition podcast, Beard Laws, Barrel Age Flicks, and one of our favorites. And we're going to be guests. We're going to be doing like a whole crossover event in a couple of weeks.
I used to love that stuff
It
on
is
like
called
Law and Order.
Yeah.
Are you like
this is
SVU,
called
or?
History I'd Like to Fuck.
Okay. I did not see that coming.
Yes. And it's going to be really awesome. We're going to be doing the history of pro wrestling. And she does a really good job. So Dawn Brody, she's a comedian out in California. And you'd like that podcast because it's really great. Basically what she does is she gets her guest, asks them, hey, all right, what do you want me to deep dive? And I'm going to go into the history of things, and she does this whole deep dive. And
I
does
love
a whole
that
show on
stuff.
it, and we don't have to do anything. It's really great.
So you pick. A topic
She was like, pick some topics. I picked a few topics with Jimmy, and she's like, okay, I'll do this one. She's done like the Titanic. She's done the Hillary Clinton scandal. I'm sorry, the Monica Lewinsky scandal. The
That's awesome.
History of fairies, history of tennis, like literally everything.
Right.
History of the vibrator, just it's everywhere. So yeah, really excited for that to happen.
That's very cool. Yeah, I'll be checking that out.
Yeah. Check out Bacon's My Podcast over at baconismypodcast.com. It's the gateway to literally everything, including all of our Spotify links and Apple Music and whatnot. Also,
I forgot about Apple Music. That's the
check us out at strangerhoodtv.com,
yes,
where you get all sorts of awesome shows, including the top 20 of the Hard Rock Lunchbox, as well as this visually if you're not watching it there right now.
Right.
If you want to help us just a little bit and you don't want to give any money, just give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a 5-star review. And if you give us a 1-star review, at least fucking tell us why.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be a shithead.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah. But yeah. Please, it costs you nothing, helps us out immensely. Don't forget to check out all of our sponsors over at strangerhoodtv.com. We have some awesome new ones that are up there. Also, keep your balls shiny, Manscaped. And I think that's about it. Until next week, where there's going to be full-blown debauchery, I do believe.
I can't wait.
DJ.
Yes.
You can sign us off here.
Okay.
Remember to ask yourself. Go for it.
Okay.
Look right there.
The remember to ask yourself, what's your bacon?
Did it pretty well.
Thank you. I'm a quick study. I've been here before.
See you next time, guys. World peace.
The Deluxe Edition Network, also known as The Den, is an incredible podcast network that offers a wide variety of entertaining and informative podcasts.
With a lineup of shows covering various topics, such as interviews with a wide variety of guests, history, music, relationships, true crime, and so much more. The Den provides content that caters to a diverse range of interests.
The hosts and guests on the Deluxe Edition Network demonstrate a deep passion and expertise in their respective fields, making each episode on each show engaging and thought-provoking.
The network fosters a sense of community by encouraging listeners to interact through live chats, social media, and forums, creating an inclusive environment for discussion and sharing opinions.
With its commitment to high-quality production, the shows in the Deluxe Edition Network continue to captivate and entertain its ever-growing audience.
Whether you're a podcast enthusiast or someone looking to explore new topics, The Den is a fantastic platform to dive into and uncover fascinating insights from experts in their fields.
The Deluxe Edition Network is the home of independent awesomeness.